Everything about sleep. Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Not all sleep is the same. You may have heard of REM or deep sleep, so today we are going to be talking a bit more about the stages of sleep. The different sleep stages can be identified measuring brainwave activity with electrodes and by looking at our muscle activity. We can look at the stages across the night in a simplified graph called hypnogram. This is what a typical night looks like. There are two main stages of sleep and they have different physiological and neurological characteristics. These are REM and non-REM sleep. REM stands for rapid eye movement, since during this stage our body is paralyzed but our eyes are not, and they move rapidly as if we were seeing things. In REM, our brain oscillations are similar as the ones we see when we are awake. Non-REM sleep can be subdivided in three other stages, and our brain oscillations here are slow and synchronized. Our body moves a little so we are not completely paralyzed as in REM. Every 30 minutes or so, our body changes position while we sleep. In non-REM sleep, the stages progress in order, first ascending, then descending. In this first stage, we are in between being awake and asleep. It's a transition period where our brain waves go from being fast, like when we are awake, to slow frequencies. This first stage is about 10 minutes long and it's very easy to wake up from it. In fact, if you are awoken during this time, you will think you never fell asleep. Usually we don't dream during the first stage, but we may have myoclonic spasms, which are sudden involuntary movements of our extremities and are accompanied with a falling sensation. They are pretty frequent and may wake us up. We spend 5% of our sleep in this first stage. In the second non-REM stage, we are no longer conscious of our surroundings and we barely move. In our EEG, we can see spindles, which last half a second, and K-complexes, which last 1 or 2 minutes. Spindles and K-complexes protect our sleep and suppress our ability to respond to stimuli from the outside. They are also important to consolidate memories and to process information. We go through this second stage several times, and this is why this is a stage we stay in longer in one night. From 45 to 50% is spent in this stage while we sleep in adults. The third stage is also known as deep sleep or slow wave sleep. We are even more disconnected from our surroundings and we don't hear any sounds or notice other stimuli. This stage occurs more frequently during the first half of the night and it's 15 or 20% of all the time we spend asleep. There are less spindles here, but dreaming is more common than in the other stages of non-REM sleep. The dreams are not as vivid or frequent as in REM though. In deep sleep, we can experience parasomnias like night terrors, sleepwalking, and sleep talking. We also process info and consolidate memories in deep sleep. It seems like depending on which stage we are, we preferentially process a type of information over other. For example, in deep sleep, we may consolidate declarative memories like verbal memories and facts, but we can also do this in other stages, but maybe not as much. It's very hard to wake someone up in the third stage of non-REM sleep. If you are woken up, you will feel groggy and disoriented. It may take you up to 30 minutes to feel less out of it. Kids and young people spend more time in deep sleep, and older people have no or almost zero deep sleep. Lastly, REM sleep occurs every 90 to 120 minutes, and it's about 20% of our total sleep time. When you're younger, REM sleep lasts longer, and babies spend about 80% of their sleep time in REM. REM occurs mostly at the end of the night, and the time spent on it increases as the night goes by. We intermittently move our eyes rapidly, and this movement may be related to the visual images we have in our dreams. And it's associated with an increment in the strength of the brain waves in areas that process vision. The brain waves are faster than non-REM, like the ones we have when we are awake. And this is why people call REM paradoxic sleep. Our brain consumes a lot of oxygen, even more than when we are awake. Our muscles are completely paralyzed because the neural impulses that control our brain are inhibited, but not the ones of our eyes and those that control our heart and other essential muscles. Most of our dreams, the most memorable and vivid, occur in REM, and scientists think that the lack of muscle activity prevents us from reenacting them. REM is important to consolidate the spatial memories, and if we interrupt our REM stage, next time we sleep we'll be in REM for longer to compensate. After experiencing new situations in which we learn new things, we spend more time in REM too. It's more probable that we may wake up after each REM stage, but usually we go right back to sleep. Sometimes we get too stimulated, like after a nightmare, and we may have to wait 1.5 hours to 2 hours to get back to sleep. There are tons of curious facts about sleep, so if you wanna know more, let me know in the comments or just leave a like. I make vids every week, so subscribe if you don't wanna miss them, and thanks so much for watching. See ya!